Hey guys, it's Jet888 here. Today it is September 7th. This is my Windows 10. This is what they shove on my computer today. Every day I get a different visual, and this is what it is today. I thought that was interesting because I've been covering these planes and stuff. Today, this is what was flying overhead, and this is just one of many today. This was this, what is it, Eurocopter UH-72A Lakota helicopter. It was one of many. Here was another one right here that accompanied it. And today I was letting people listen to this helicopter sound that was hovering overhead, and I was showing them this. Let's see, you're watching a video of a video here, but that was just one little psychopath swimming around today. There's the Coronado military base. It was basically unidentified, but they're just obsessed with this area. And I have my whole video on this, and it goes into what I'm going to talk about today, Senate Bill 2223. The owner of that plane was Mentor Aviation LLC. I think that they're owners up in Orange County, and the registration is in 7YS. They took off at 11:16 a.m. That was today. And I happened to see a story regarding this aircraft company. It was talking about a pilot that fell to his death from a damaged, let's see, something about, oh, the landing gear got stuck, or something was wrong with the landing gear, and so the pilot fell to his death with a fatal injury on Friday, July 29th. That's 11 of July, like 9 plus 2. They love their 11s. But I just thought that was really strange. But I've seen this quite a bit. A lot of deaths happen with these kind of companies. But they're for some reason doing lots of little loops down here in Chula Vista area in San Diego. Yeah, I don't know how a serious landing gear issue ends up in a tragic accident with the pilot jumping out. This is the airport, but that plane I was showing, or the helicopter I was showing, was Mentor Aviation LLC. And that's interesting because that's the name of one of the owners, and it shows her a association with this airline company, which it states is no longer active, but they're still flying overhead. And interesting because I'm just going to show you the last half of the phone number, but look at that, AUJJ, and just to let you see, that is their name. AUJJ isn't in the database, but it will be. I just think these are interesting links. Look at that, A poisonous. You can read that, right? And that also equals being 201, like event 201 with the John Hopkins. And there's another numerical value of 42, which also equals 5. And 5, if you know I've covered 5, it's the all-seeing eye. Anyhow, there's just such wicked stuff going on. It's not hard to believe this one. There's another one equivalent to the all-seeing eye, and 5, time to fly. And 5 is also war. Anyhow, they're not alone, but anyhow, that's their plane flying around. And that just reminds me what I showed in my last video. Remember this when I showed the Ouroboros, the snake? But the first plane, our bird here that I'm showing, it had this tail number. This is why I'm showing you this. This reminded me of something else, but I'm going to look real quick at that. 72233. I'll break it up just looking at the first three. 722. 722 is the perfect storm. It's also hive. So 33 is, whoops, where'd that go? Cali, for like California, and that'll be just, you'll see where I'm going with this. 33 is also RNA. But if you look at the whole tail sign, let's see, 72233 equals the GBBCC, which again equals there's 17102, as in if you flip that backwards, it's event 201, and 17 again. And 17, when you spell it out, is NWO. But anyhow, it's also FBI, and anyone knows enough about the FBI, you know the anagram is very relevant. The fib and Q. Those are, they all have the same number equivalents. Here is another one that was flying in the sky today, and it actually took off. It looked like it took off from an aircraft carrier, because the bottom right is where it started, just sort of out in the middle of nowhere, just a little south of, where is that? There's the Coronado base, military base, and that blue, that white should be blue, but that's where they started, right there. Okay, but why I'm going into this, and that was U.S. Army, this tail reminded me, the 72233 just reminded me of the Senate bill that's being passed right now. I'm sorry, I meant the Assembly bill. Number 2223, introduced by Assembly Member Wicks. It's Buffy Wicks, as in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which she's probably not, but Buffy Wicks reminds me of Wicks, like Wiccan, like a witch. And you also down below have co-authors, Senators Gonzalez and Weiner. Is that Weiner or Weiner? I'm going to call him Weiner. So here's Scott Weiner with all his little friends here up your alley. And let's see, what is this? LGBT at up your alley. I think they also had a hashtag leather or something. So here he is again next to the stud. Yeah, stud San Francisco. Man, they're going to hell in a handbasket. And Newsom's up there helping push it along, because the bill, this Senate bill, or the Assembly bill, I mean AB 2223. Let's go look at that a little bit. So here's the Buffy Wicks that introduced it. And it's interesting because when you put it as California State Assembly Bill, CSAB BBBCC, it equals 222, which is Hades, dies. It's also hell. But this is Buffy Wicks with her little smile as she has introduced the bill to, basically it's an infanticide bill. Buffy Wicks, Assembly Member, District 15 and 15. So here, of course, District 15 is in Los Angeles, and it looks like a pooling of blood down here. Anyhow, this is what's going on here. And you can look this bill up on trackbill.com, and it tells you about the Assembly Bill's reproductive health. Well, I don't understand how the word health has anywhere to do with infanticide. So they want to repeal and add sections on relating to reproductive health. A lot of the public does not want this because they also are seeing it as killing babies, as murder, because what it talks about, and Kathy Ireland discusses this too. She says, this bill literally allows the killing of children. The World Health Organization acknowledges, you know, the WHO that no one has ever voted for. They just happen to move in. The World Health Organization acknowledges approximately 125,000 abortions happen daily on a global basis. With this bill, our nation moves beyond abortion and allows infanticides to become permissible tragedies. And it's true. This is an infanticide. This is not a women's rights issue. This is a human rights issue. Those of us who believe in human rights must engage in peaceful activism to save our children. And the reason why she's saying that, in this bill, the word perinatal comes up, and perinatal is relating to the period shortly before and after birth, from the 20th to the 29th week of gestation to 1 to 4 weeks. 4 weeks, that's basically a month after birth. You are allowed to have what they would call, and they keep referring it to as pregnancy outcomes. So if you kill your 1-month-old baby, this is a 1-month-old baby. Notice how it's making eye contact, how it's looking for support and comfort, how it thinks it's safe once it's finally gotten here, how it can smile at you. Little 1-month-old. It's already having little dreams of playing baseball, and it can already engage with its parents at 1 month old. And they think that you can basically abort this baby at 1 month old with no questions asked. And people who look into a death of a 1 year old or 1 month old baby, you will be penalized. You could be penalized up to $25,000. I mean, the thought that someone would kill a 1 month old baby is horrible. Little twins. I will leave you the link to this whole PDF of this assembly bill and how they've changed it and what they're doing now. So basically, too, like let's say the mother is okay to have her baby cut up inside to sell the baby parts when the baby is still in utero, and the baby somehow makes it to the birth and is born alive. They could still kill it once it's here. They have a whole month to decide to kill it or not. And this compares and shows you the existing law and how they're changing it. So it talks here too about all these ways something can die, and a coroner has a right to inquire. It says here, the coroner can inquire into the violent cause of the deaths, whether it's, poisoning, drowning, hanging, exposure, strangulation, starvation. It talks about everything, how the baby or these people, like a baby could die, and the coroner has the discretion to determine how the death occurred. So it says here on page 6 of 10, for the purpose of inquiry, the coroner shall have the right to exhume the body of the deceased person when necessary, and he has 3 days to determine how the certificate of fetal death was caused. But it says that whatever he comes up with in seeing how this baby died, the section shall not be used to establish, bring, or support a criminal prosecution or civil cause of action seeking damages against any person who is immune from liability under section 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Remember that number. Through its courts and statute. Anyhow, you can't pursue prosecution if you see that a mother killed their baby at 30 days or a month, 4 weeks after the birth. You can't prosecute because it's her right to do with her body, even though that baby is no longer in her body. And isn't this funny? Because they had to come over here and says this is the change, the amendments that they've made, or the changing life or health of the woman. Nope, they had to cross that out and put woman or pregnant person. Like anyone but a woman can have a baby, but they have to be PC, I guess. Oh, and if you go into rescue mode and try to save a baby or whatever, if you have violated this person's right, you'll be held liable for each and every offense in actual damages of a civil penalty of $25,000. And it calls this an abortion. So the abortion is performed on a viable fetus. That means viable means the baby can live outside the womb. So this Buffy Wicks, when she was trying to present her infanticide rules here, she brought on the witness, Selena Sandoval. That would be her. So she introduces herself. I'm Selena Sandoval. I'm a board certified OB/GYN. I'm a fellow with the Physicians for Reproductive Health and a member of the California Future of Abortion Council. I'm here today to voice my support for AB 2223, which seeks to ensure that people are not criminalized for their pregnancy outcomes. So a pregnancy outcome is now regarded as, like, murder is called pregnancy outcome. I'm sorry, but when you have a baby that's a month or 1 month old and you kill it, that's murder. That's not a pregnancy outcome. But they're twisting everything. And Selena states, I can attest that the criminal justice system does not belong in health, but neither does murdering of children either. And they use this word perinatal in this bill. Up to 1 to 4 weeks after birth is considered perinatal. She's talking about a drastic rise in hostile legislation targeting those who get pregnant. What about, and I wrote here as a note, drastic rise in hostile legislation targeting those who don't want an experimental needlecraft or fabricated facade being their face. fabricated, like these. What about our rights for that, a non-fabricated face? So she is desperately fighting for the goal of controlling their bodies and controlling their reproductive choices, which I can say that I'm for that, controlling your bodies, but they've got to be more consistent. They're pretty hypocritical trying to shove the needlecraft on people. Their reproductive choices. Yeah, you know what though? After you have a baby, it's no longer your reproductive choice. That's someone else's life. So here on Twitter at Mercury News says stillbirths and the law. California bill would end coroner investigations of lost pregnancies. Let's see here. Stillbirths and the law. A Democratic bill would no longer treat stillbirths as unattended deaths investigated by coroners, but anti-abortion activists fear the change. Now I can't get onto Twitter, so I've been kicked off. And isn't this weird? The 2223, the numerical value with the numbers is BBBC, and that equals dad, but it also equals 999. You flip that upside down, it's 666. But so I took the 9, took that 54, add 5 plus 4 is 9, and here's the 9. That's your numerical equivalent, 666 for this bill, 2223. Here's your Senator Gonzalez. I think that's him. They've got a couple Gonzaleses though, so interesting how they don't use their first name, isn't it? Here's CaliforniaGlobe.com. California's newly amended infanticide bill headed to Senate. So I'm way behind here. So June 13th, AB 2223 passed an Assembly Appropriations Committee in May after approval of an amendment that mostly removed the verbiage decriminalizing infanticide. We're just right up there with China now. The California Family Council reported legislators made the bill after thousands of pro-life advocates came to Sacramento on April 19th to oppose the bill. So here's a Capitol, what is that? CaliforniaPoliticalReview.com. Basically, Assembly Bill 2223 passed Assembly and is now headed to the Senate, which they've been there. AB 2223 seeks to change Penal Code Section 187, which defines murder as the unlawful killing of a human being or a fetus with malice aforethought. Reference to a fetus was added in 1970 when the California legislature amended Section 187. You know, though a 1-month-old isn't a fetus. Let's look at this. California bill allowing killing of 1-month-old newborn babies. So I'm not the only one that is seeing this as being criminal. Let's look. Oh, here's another senator. She's Senate District 33. So Senator Lena Gonzalez. So maybe she's also one. I don't know who. They don't use the first name. That's ridiculous to me. But she is in the southeast Los Angeles city of Bell. So that would make sense. And look at that. Oh, yep. You got the rainbow and the sunshine. So it's probably her. Whoa. So on April 21, 2022, interesting, California Bill AB passed the Assembly Health Committee in an 11-3 vote late Tuesday night. That just shows you how many Satanists are in the government. The bill removes criminal liability from mothers in relation to all pregnancy outcomes, including the death of a newborn for any reason during the period following birth, according to the official Senate analysis of a newborn for any reason during the period. Did I already read that? Analysis of the legislation prepared by State Senate Legislative Director Allison Maryllis. Yeah, I'm sure the babies are Maryllis. The analysis goes on to define the perinatal period as either generally used to describe the period from approximately past 22 or 28, which one is it? Geez, there's a big difference there. Completed weeks of pregnancy up to 7 completed days of life, 7, or the period from the establishment of pregnancy to 1 month following delivery, 1 month. You can kill your baby now. Boy, if I were a man, a father, I tell you, I'd be watching your baby real close. Someone's got to protect the babies. So the Satanists, the supporters of AB 2223 say this legislation now, which now moves forward to the Appropriations Committee and then the Assembly floor, like for a vote, which right now it's in Newsom's desk. It's at Newsom's, the governor's desk, would prevent women from being held civilly or criminally liable for certain pregnancy outcomes. How do you like that change of definition? Certain pregnancy outcomes now means murder, murdering your 1-month-old or younger baby. Certain pregnancy outcomes. Interesting. So when we look at the gematria for certain pregnancy outcomes, 1362, it's not in their database, but it's going to be. It has the same value as the word upside down. You think? And if Newsom passes it, you got that right. So this California Family Council, this little website I saw too, it's a lobby day against AB 2223 infanticide bill. So they're calling it that as well. And they've got people speaking out, thank God, kill the bill, not the baby. You know, it's refreshing to see in this group of people. Look at this. Where are their scammies on their faces? We don't see them. What a nice, refreshing thing. Talk about being woken up or at least awake. Well, and this is interesting here in this District 15 in Los Angeles here. This is on culturella.org. Interesting. Look at this, Shakespeare by the Sea. A lot of interesting symbols they've got going here. So here you got this Scott Wiener, and he's talking about transgender people. And he says, well, this article says California bill that would allow inmates to be housed according to gender preferences advances. Now, this is talking about a different bill, but it says the bill referred to as SB 132 was proposed by Democratic State Senator Scott Wiener of San Francisco and has since passed every legislative hurdle thus far. And guess what? Senator Wiener says transgender people are at higher risk of being subjected to violence. So apparently it bothers him when transgender adults are subjected to violence, but he doesn't think anything about getting rid of getting rid of a 1-month-old baby. Look at that. He doesn't seem the need to protect that or that. He doesn't want to protect that. He'd rather protect that and that. And I'm not saying these people don't have a right to be protected. Not only protected, these people were actually paying for their surgery. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this. That's the way that I wanted to stay, and I always wanted to be that way for my Lola. Lola, Lola, Lola. Girls will be boys and boys will be girls. It's a mixed up, muddled up, shook up world. And did you hear that? The girls will be boys and boys will be girls. It's a mixed up, muddled up, shook up world. Yep, you got that right. That's where we are right now. And one last thing and then I'm going to go. This Pastor Jack, let's see, Jack, what's his last name? Hibbs, I think? Yeah, Jack Hibbs. He talked about, he said we're essentially talking about legalizing murder because nobody can investigate or determine how this child died. A mother could be depressed or confused after pregnancy, and during that time the baby is dead. Why? We need to find out why. It's not prosecutor bringing anything against anyone. I don't know what that means though. It's the value of human life. But he actually was a survivor of a failed abortion. Isn't that interesting? Anyhow, on that note, I'll leave you guys this PDF on the bill here. Okay, bye guys.